Hi, my dear wanderers. It's XR. Welcome back to our cozy haven, where the whispers of the world fade into gentle echoes and dreams of magic await. It is a pleasure to share this moment with you, here in the quiet. I hope you're all settled in comfortably tonight. The world outside has turned on its axis. The sun has dipped below the horizon, and the demands of the daylight hours have finally released their grip. There is nothing left for you to solve. There are no quests to complete, no classes to attend, and no puzzles to unravel. There is only this space, this safety, and the sound of my voice guiding you toward the velvet embrace of sleep. Tonight, we are going to step through a veil. We are going to leave the modern world behind, with its electric hum and its frantic pace, and we are going to drift back in time. Back to an era of gaslight and quill pens, of cobblestone streets and hidden courtyards. We are travelling to the late 19th century, to the mist-shrouded peaks of the Scottish Highlands, to walk the halls of a castle that has stood for 1,000 years. We are returning to Hogwarts. But not the Hogwarts of the books you may know so well. This is an older Hogwarts, a place of ancient magic, where the secrets are buried deep beneath the stone, waiting for a new student, waiting for you to uncover them. But before we board the carriage that will take us into the clouds, let us first attend to the vessel you inhabit right now, your body. Find a comfortable place to sit or lie down where you can feel completely at ease. Whether you are in a chair or nestled into your bed, allow yourself to sink into the surface beneath you. Feel the support it offers. It is sturdy, it is safe, and it is holding you up so that you do not have to hold yourself. Gently close your eyes and enjoy a moment to simply be. There is a profound magic in simply being. In a world that constantly asks you to do, to become, to achieve, the act of stopping is the most powerful spell you can cast. Take a slow, deep breath in, filling your lungs with the cool, fresh air of the evening, and release it slowly, letting go of any tension. Let the breath flow out like a slow, winding river, carrying away the debris of the day. Breathe in again, deep and slow. And as you breathe out, imagine a wave of relaxation washing over your scalp. Feel it trickle down your forehead, smoothing out the lines of worry. Let it flow over your eyelids, making them heavy and pleasant. Let it soften your jaw. Allow this sensation to drift down your neck and into your shoulders. If your shoulders are hiked up toward your ears, let them drop. Let them fall away. Imagine that you are wearing a heavy, warm cloak of velvet, and its weight is gently pulling your shoulders down, grounding you. Let that relaxation flow down your arms, past your elbows, into your wrists, and finally into your hands. Your fingers uncurl. Your palms are open and soft. Your arms feel wonderfully weightless, as if they are floating in a warm, enchanted pool. Feel the relaxation travel down your spine, vertebrae by vertebrae, releasing the muscles of your back. Your hips settle, your legs become heavy and loose. Your knees unlock, your ankles are free, and finally, feel that warmth reach the tips of your toes. You are entirely still. You are a statue of peace. You are ready to listen. Let the noise of the day fade. You are with XR now, in the quiet. Now, let your imagination begin to stir. Picture yourself standing on a cobblestone street in London. The year is 1890. The air is cool and smells faintly of coal smoke and rain. The fog is thick, swirling around your ankles, muting the sounds of the city. You are dressed in heavy, warm woolens, a long coat, sturdy boots, a scarf wrapped tight against the chill. You are waiting for a journey that you have anticipated for a lifetime, though you are arriving later than most. You hold a letter in your hand, the parchment thick and creamy, the emerald ink shimmering even in the dim light of the gas street lamps. It is an invitation, a summons. A carriage pulls up out of the fog. It is a magnificent thing, painted a dark, glossy black, with lanterns glowing warm and gold on either side. It is drawn by creatures you cannot quite see. Perhaps just a shimmer in the air, a sense of powerful muscle and leathery wings. The Thestrals, the invisible steeds of the wizarding world. The door creaks open for you. The interior is upholstered in plush, crushed velvet, the color of a midnight sky. You step inside and the door clicks shut, sealing you away from the damp London air. It is warm in here. There is a smell of old leather, of polished wood, and something sweeter, perhaps the scent of sherbet lemon or dried lavender. You sink into the seat. The carriage lurches forward, gently at first, the wheels clattering over the stones. But then the sensation changes. The clattering stops. The ride becomes impossibly smooth. You look out the window and the gas lights of London are sinking away. The rooftops, the chimneys, the winding Thames, they all drop below you. You are rising. You are flying. We are flying north. The journey we are embarking on tonight is one of discovery. The story of Hogwarts Legacy is a unique thread in the tapestry of this magical world. It is a story of a time when the wizarding world was precarious, balancing on the edge of a conflict that few understood. It was a time when goblins, led by the fierce Ranrock, sought to claim a power that had been denied to them. It was a time when dark wizards, like Victor Rookwood, prowled the edges of polite society in Hogsmeade. But more than the conflict, it is a story of the world itself. The breathtaking beauty of the Scottish Highlands in the autumn, the golden light filtering through the leaves of the Forbidden Forest, the sound of the wind howling around the Astronomy Tower, the cozy, bustling warmth of the Hufflepuff Common Room, or the serene, underwater glow of the Slytherin dungeon. This is a world where magic is not just a tool, but a living, breathing force. And you, the protagonist of this tale, possess a connection to it that others do not. You see traces of ancient magic, shimmers of blue and silver light that hint at a power long forgotten. As our carriage glides through the clouds, passing through wisps of white mist that dampen the glass of the windows, we leave the mundane behind completely. We are suspended between the earth and the stars. The moon is a pale coin in the sky, illuminating the rolling clouds below us like a sea of silver. In this space, time moves differently. There is no rush to arrive. The journey itself is the destination. We have hours ahead of us, hours to explore the history, the lore, and the deep, rich narratives of the witches and wizards who walked these paths before us. We will meet Professor Eleazar Fig, a man of kindness and curiosity whose mentorship will guide us. We will encounter students from all walks of life. Sebastian Sallow with his tragic loyalty, Natsai Onai with her brave heart, and Poppy Sweeting with her compassion for beasts. We will learn spells that spark and crackle at the end of our wands. We will brew potions that bubble in cauldrons of pewter and brass. But for now, we are simply travelers. The carriage rocks gently, a rhythmic, soothing motion that lulls you deeper into relaxation. Back and forth, like a cradle in the sky. The interior of the carriage is dimly lit by a magical lantern that hangs from the ceiling. Its light is soft, casting long, dancing shadows. You feel safe here. You feel prepared. In the seat across from you, imagine a stack of books. Heavy tomes bound in dragonhide and fading cloth. The history of magic, magical drafts and potions, the standard book of spells. They are waiting for you to open them. But there is no need to study tonight. Tonight, the knowledge will come to you in the form of a story. Listen to the wind rushing past the carriage. It is a hollow, rushing sound, vast and empty. It reminds you of how high up we are. Far below, the landscape is changing. The sprawling city has given way to farmland, a patchwork quilt of greens and browns. And soon, that too gives way to the rugged, untamed wilderness of the north. The air growing thinner, crisper. You can almost feel the chill pressing against the glass, making the warmth inside the carriage feel even more precious. You pull your coat tighter around you, snuggling into the corner of the seat. Your eyelids are heavy. The rhythm of the flight is hypnotic. We are drifting toward the highlands. We are drifting toward the past. It is 1890. Queen Victoria sits on the throne in the Muggle world. But in our world, Phineas Nigellus Black is the headmaster of Hogwarts. It is a different time, a stiffer time in some ways, but also a time of great elegance and mystery. The rules of magic are being tested. The boundaries of what is known are being pushed, and you are at the center of it all. Let yourself float in this feeling of anticipation and peace. The induction is complete. You have crossed the threshold. The door to the waking world is closed and locked. You are safe in the carriage of dreams, riding the wind toward a castle that calls to you from across the centuries. Rest your head, close your eyes, and let us prepare to look back at the history that shaped the world we are about to enter. Welcome deeper, my friends. The carriage continues its rhythmic journey through the clouds, suspended in that twilight space between the waking world and the realm of dreams. While we travel toward the stone towers of the north, let us cast our minds back. Before we can understand the path you are about to walk, we must understand the ground upon which it was built. To understand the Hogwarts of 1890, we must first understand the world that cradles it. The late 19th century was a time of profound dichotomy. In the Muggle world, the world of non-magic folk, this was the height of the Industrial Revolution. Great iron beasts steamed across the countryside on rails of steel. Factories belched smoke into the London sky, turning the fog a thick pea-souped yellow. It was an age of machinery, of noise, of rapid, relentless progress. But the Wizarding World moves to a different tempo. It is a society anchored in tradition, often stubborn in its resistance to change. While Muggles were discovering electricity, wizards were still lighting their homes with floating candles and heating their cauldrons with wood fires. There is a charm to this stagnation, a sense of timelessness, but there is also a fragility. In 1890, the Ministry of Magic is a bureaucratic labyrinth, struggling to maintain the statute of secrecy in an increasingly connected world. The Minister for Magic is Faris Spavin, a man known for his extreme longevity and his verbose, rambling speeches. Under his long and somewhat complacent reign, cracks were beginning to form in the bedrock of magical society. And nowhere were these cracks more evident than in the relations between wizardkind and goblins. We must speak of the goblins. For centuries, these master craftsmen and bankers have existed alongside wizards in a state of uneasy tension. Goblins are beings of immense pride and intellect. They possess a brand of magic entirely their own, magic that does not require a wand, magic that imbues metal with properties no human spell can replicate. Think of the sword of Godric Gryffindor, forged by Ragnarok I. It absorbs that which makes it stronger. That is goblin silver. However, the wizarding world has historically feared this power. In their fear, they enacted laws, cruel, restrictive laws, most notably the Code of Wand use of 1631, which strictly forbade any non-human magical being from carrying a wand. To a goblin, whose culture reveres craftsmanship and tool-making, being denied the tool of magic was not just a legal restriction, it was a cultural insult. It was a gelding of their potential. This resentment simmered for centuries, bubbling over into bloody rebellions in 1612, in 1752, and again in the era we are visiting. Enter Ranrock. Ranrock is not like other goblins you may have heard of. He is not merely a banker counting coins at Gringotts. He is a revolutionary. He is a visionary, twisted by bitterness. Ranrock wears armor of his own making, gleaming with a red, corrupted magic. He does not seek equality, he seeks dominance. He believes that wizardkind has hoarded the secrets of magic for too long, and he intends to take what he believes is rightfully his. But Ranrock's rebellion is different from those of the past. He is not just rallying troops with spears and swords. He is searching. He is hunting for a specific power, a power that has been hidden from the world for hundreds of years. And this brings us to the heart of our history, the Keepers and the ancient magic. Long before 1890, in the Tudor era, there lived a group of 4 brilliant professors at Hogwarts. They called themselves the Keepers. There was Percival Rackham, a seer with a calm demeanor and a connection to the very fabric of magic. Charles Rookwood, a master of transfiguration. Neve Fitzgerald, a celebrated headmistress. And San Bakar, a master of beasts with a stern, unyielding moral code. Percival Rackham possessed a rare ability, one that you, the traveler in this story, also share. He could see traces of ancient magic. This is not the magic of Incendio or Levioso. This is the raw, primal energy of the earth itself. It is the magic of creation and destruction. It appears to those with the sight as swirling ribbons of blue and silver, like liquid starlight. The Keepers dedicated their lives to understanding this power, but they were not the only ones. They took on an apprentice, a young girl named Isadora Morganach. Isadora is a tragic figure in our tale, a reminder that the road to darkness is often paved with love. She came from a poor hamlet, where she watched her father suffer from a deep, debilitating depression, a pain so great it rendered him a shell of a man. Isadora, brilliant and desperate, saw the ancient magic not just as a force of nature, but as a cure. She discovered that this magic could be used to manipulate emotion. She found that she could reach into a person and remove their pain. She could extract it, like pulling a dark thread from a tapestry. Imagine the temptation, to have the power to take away the suffering of a loved one, to wipe away grief, trauma, and despair with the flick of a wrist. Isadora saved her father from his sorrow, but she soon learned a terrible truth. When you take away a person's pain, you also take away a piece of their humanity. You leave them hollow, apathetic. Without darkness, the light loses its meaning. But Isadora did not stop. She became obsessed. She began to store this extracted pain, this concentrated emotional energy, in vast repositories beneath the earth. She believed she was building a better world, a painless world. The Keepers, seeing the horror of her work, seeing the empty, soulless husks she was leaving behind, tried to stop her. The conflict that ensued was silent and secret, fought in the shadows of history. The Keepers defeated Isadora, but they could not destroy the magic she had amassed. It was too potent, too volatile, and so they chose to hide it. They built great trials, puzzles of logic, combat, and morality to guard the secret. They swore to protect the location of the repositories, ensuring that only someone worthy, someone who could pass their trials, would ever uncover the knowledge of ancient magic. They became the keepers of the secret, and then they passed away, leaving their memories behind in portraits and pensieves, waiting, waiting for centuries. Until 1890, until Ranrock, digging in the earth, found a trace of this power. This is the precipice upon which the world stands when you arrive. Ranrock has allied himself with a dark wizard named Victor Rookwood, a descendant of one of the Keepers. It is an unholy alliance. Rookwood provides the criminal underworld network, the Ashwinders, who terrorize the hamlets of the Highlands. Ranrock provides the raw, goblin-forged weaponry and a fanatical army. Together, they are searching for the final repository of Isadora's magic. If they find it, if Ranrock absorbs that accumulated pain and power, he will be unstoppable. He will have the strength to wipe wizardkind from the face of the earth.
And amidst this gathering storm, life at Hogwarts goes on.
The castle in 1890 is a place of wonder, but also of discipline. The headmaster is Phineas Nigellus Black. If you know the name Black, Sirius Black, Bellatrix Lestrange, you know the lineage. Phineas is unpopular, to say the least. He is the great-great-grandfather of Sirius Black. He is a man who cares little for education and much for his own prestige. He hates the students. He hates the job. He famously banned Quidditch in the 1890 school year due to a purely unfortunate injury, much to the fury of the student body. The atmosphere in the castle is different under his rule. It is stricter. The professors, like the fiery Aesop Sharp, a former Auror who teaches potions with a limp and a scowl, or the delightful Mirabelle Garlic, who teaches herbology with a flower in her hair, are the true heart of the school. They protect the students from the headmaster's negligence as much as from the outside world. The wider world of the Highlands is also a character in this story. Beyond the safety of the castle walls, the hamlets are small and superstitious. Places like Feldcroft and Lower Hogsfield are huddled collections of stone cottages, where people live in fear of the Ashwinders and the Loyalists, Ranrock's followers. The Forbidden Forest is wilder, darker, teeming with spiders and centaurs who are increasingly hostile to humans. And there is Hogsmeade, the only all-wizarding village in Britain. In 1890, it is a bustling, cozy sanctuary. The Three Broomsticks is there, presided over by Sirona Ryan, a witch of formidable strength and kindness. Zonko's joke shop is not yet the institution it will become, but the whimsical chaos is there. Honeydukes is already filling the air with the scent of chocolate and spun sugar. It is a world on the brink, a world where the ancient past is bubbling up to meet the present. The magic is old, heavy, and dangerous. And you are the anomaly. You are starting Hogwarts as a fifth-year student. This is unheard of. Most witches and wizards show their signs early, at age 11. But your magic lay dormant, waiting for the right moment to bloom, waiting perhaps for the ancient magic to call out to you. Professor Eleazar Fig, a scholar of magical theory, has taken you under his wing. He believes your late arrival and your unique ability to see traces of ancient magic are connected to the Goblin Rebellion. He believes you are the key to the Keeper's trials. So, as our carriage flies north, carrying you toward this destiny, know that you are not just going to school to learn how to turn a teacup into a tortoise. You are stepping into a war that has been brewing since the Tudor era. You are stepping into the shadow of Isidora Morganach. You are the only one who can see the magic that Ranrock seeks.
The history books are open, the ink is wet, and the next chapter belongs to you.
Take a deep breath now. Can you smell the heather of the Highlands? Can you feel the drop in temperature as we cross the border? The induction is over. The history is laid bare. We are about to arrive. The arrival. And so, we begin. The carriage rattles gently, a soothing vibration that travels up through the soles of your boots. Inside, the air is warm, contrasting with the frost that has begun to create delicate, fern-like patterns on the window panes. You are sitting opposite Professor Eleazar Fig, A man whose face is etched with lines of kindness and worry in equal measure. He is studying a newspaper, the Daily Prophet, his brow furrowed as he reads headlines of goblin unrest and ministry incompetence. Beside him sits a man from the ministry, George Osric, clutching a strange, cylindrical object, a container of intricate metalwork, glowing with a faint, puzzling light.
It's not just goblins, Eleazar, George says, his voice tight. It's Ranrock. His loyalists are different, aggressive.
You listen, the rhythm of the carriage wheels acting as a metronome to their conversation. You look down at your hands. You are the anomaly here, a fifth-year student starting late. It is unheard of. Yet you feel a hum of anticipation in your chest, a resonance that feels like a plucked string. George hands the container to you. My wife, Miriam. She sent this to me before she died, Professor Fig explains softly. She believed it was the key to understanding why the goblins are so restless. As your fingers brush the cold metal of the cylinder, something happens. The world around you seems to dampen, the sound of the wind fading into a hush. A glow emanates from the object, a strange, ethereal blue light that only you can see. It pulses, alive. The metal clicks, shifting under your touch, responding to a magic you didn't know you possessed. Did you see that? You whisper. See what? Fig asks, leaning forward. And then, the silence is shattered. A roar tears the sky apart. It is a sound of pure, primal fury, so loud it vibrates in your teeth. The carriage lurches violently. Outside the window, the sea of white clouds is stained with a sudden, violent orange. Fire. A dragon, immature perhaps but massive, descends from the heavens. Its scales are dark as coal, its eyes burning with malice. It is wearing a strange metal collar that glows with a corrupt red magic. With a sickening crunch, the beast's jaws clamp onto the rear of the carriage. The world tilts, chaos erupts. You see George Osric panic, but there is nothing to be done. The dragon tears the back half of the carriage away. In the blink of an eye, the ministry man is gone, lost to the clouds and the fire.
Jump! Fig screams, grabbing your arm.
But you don't jump. The cylinder in your hand, the port key, activates. The sensation is instantaneous and disorienting. It feels as though a hook has snagged you behind the navel, pulling you forward with irresistible force. The carriage, the dragon, the fire, they all dissolve into a swirl of color and wind. You are spinning through the void, tumbling through space and time. And then, the ground meets you. Hard. You tumble onto wet stone, gasping for breath. The air here is different. It is salty, heavy with moisture. The roar of the dragon is replaced by the rhythmic crashing of waves. You pick yourself up, your knees shaking, and look around. You are no longer in the sky. You are standing on a rocky precipice, a jagged cliff edge jutting out into a turbulent grey ocean. Where are we? You ask, your voice lost in the wind.
Professor Fig is dusting himself off, looking around with the keen eye of a scholar. I do not know, he admits. But the port key, it brought us here for a reason.
You begin to walk. The path is narrow, winding along the cliff face. To your left, the sheer drop down to the churning sea. To your right, towering walls of dark, slate-grey stone. This place feels old. Older than Hogwarts. Older than the ministry. It feels forgotten. As you navigate the ruins, you encounter a bridge, shattered and broken, a gap too wide to jump. Fig looks at you. Let's see what you can do, he says. You raise your wand. a piece of wood that feels like an extension of your own arm. You focus on the broken stone, picturing it whole. "Reparo!" you say firmly. The magic flows out of you, not as a struggle, but as a release. The stones lift from the chasm, defying gravity, swirling and knitting themselves back together with a satisfying clack. The bridge is whole. It is your first act of magic in this new life, and it feels like waking up. Deeper into the ruins you go, until you reach a large, cavernous chamber. In the center stands a wall of crystal and ice, smooth as a mirror. But when you look into it, you do not see your reflection. You see the room as it was, or perhaps as it is in another layer of reality. "Professor," you say, pointing. The glow. There it is again, the traces of ancient magic, wisps of blue light, like smoke, dancing near the wall. Fig cannot see them. To him, it is just stone. But to you, it is a doorway. You reach out, touching the light. The stone shimmers and melts away, revealing a grand, hidden entrance. "Extraordinary," Fig breathes. "This is Gringotts." But not the Gringotts of Diagon Alley. This is a private entrance, a secret vestibule connected to the Wizarding Bank. You step through the threshold and are transported instantly from the damp Scottish cave to the polished marble and gold of the bank's interior. You find a goblin sleeping at a desk, a private concierge of sorts. Fig wakes him, and after a tense exchange, you are ushered into a cart. The ride to the vaults is a journey into the bowels of the earth. The cart rattles along tracks that defy physics, plunging down steep chasms, spiraling around stalactites the size of cathedral spires. The air grows warmer, smelling of sulfur and old dust. You pass underground waterfalls and vast lakes where blind, pale fish swim in the dark. You arrive at Vault 12. It is here that the true weight of your journey settles upon you. The vault is not filled with gold. It is empty, save for a pensieve, a stone basin used to view memories. You pour a vial of silvery liquid into the basin and dip your face into the surface. The world dissolves again. You are watching a memory from centuries ago. Two men, Percival Rackham and Charles Rookwood, are standing in this very vault. They speak of a power they have hidden, a power too dangerous for the world. They speak of you, or rather they speak of someone who can see what you see. They created this path, these breadcrumbs, to find a student who could wield the ancient magic. You pull your head back, gasping. The connection is undeniable. You are the heir to this secret. But there is no time to process this revelation. The sound of footsteps echoes in the corridor outside. Heavy, armored footsteps.
Ranrock has found you.
The goblin leader steps into the vault light. He is shorter than a man, but radiates a terrifying presence. His armor glows with that same corrupt red magic you saw on the dragon. He is not here to negotiate. He wants the locket that Fig is holding. "Give it to me," Ranrock snarls, his voice like grinding stones. A battle ensues, not a duel of wands, for you are not ready for that, but a desperate scramble for survival. The vault's defenses trigger. A massive stone knight awakens, swinging a sword the size of a tree trunk. Chaos reigns. In the confusion, Fig grabs you, and you find another exit, a magical tear in the fabric of the room. You fall through it. The sensation of falling is long and dreamlike. You are leaving the danger behind, leaving the dark caverns of Gringotts. You are falling through shadow and light until soft grass. You land with a thump on a hillside. The air is cool and smells of pine and fresh water. It is night now. You stand up, brushing the dirt from your robes, and look up. There it is. Hogwarts Castle. It rises from the cliffside like a mountain of stone and light. Towers spiral up toward the moon, windows glowing with the warm, inviting light of 1,000 candles. The black lake reflects the silhouette of the castle, a perfect twin in the dark water. It is massive, imposing, and undeniably magical. It feels like home. We made it, Fig says, breathless, checking his pocket watch. Though I fear we are terribly late. The sorting ceremony will have already begun. The walk to the castle is a blur of awe. You pass through the great oak doors, the wood groaning with age and history. The entrance hall is vast, with marble staircases that shift and change. You can hear the hum of hundreds of voices from the great hall. Professor Black, the headmaster, meets you at the door. He looks down his nose at you, his expression one of immense irritation. The ceremony is over, he drawls. However, we must make an exception. The doors to the great hall swing open. The noise dies down instantly. 4 long tables stretch the length of the hall, filled with students in robes of black, trimmed with scarlet, emerald, azure, and canary yellow. Floating candles hover in the air, thousands of them, casting a soft, golden glow. The ceiling above mirrors the night sky, speckled with stars. You walk down the center aisle. Every eye is on you. The whispers start. The 5th year? Who is that? Why are they so late? You reach the front, where a 3-legged stool sits. Upon it rests an old, patched, fraying hat. A sorting hat. Professor Weasley, a stern but kind-looking woman with red hair, gestures for you to sit. You sit. The wood of the stool is hard beneath you. The hat is placed upon your head. It slides down over your eyes, plunging you into darkness. Ah, a voice speaks in your ear. It is scratchy, old, and wise. A bit older than the others, aren't we? And you come with quite a burden. I sense a thirst to prove yourself. The hat delves into your mind. It sees the journey you just took. It sees the dragon. It sees the ancient magic. It sees your fear and your courage. Where shall I put you? The hat muses. You have a daring streak, certainly, brave enough to face a dragon. But I see loyalty too, a willingness to help your mentor, and a sharp mind. Yes, you solved the riddle of the ruins quickly, and ambition. Oh yes, you want to understand this power you hold. The hall holds its breath. You hold your breath. This is the moment of definition. This is where your story truly finds its color. Better be. The hat shouts the name of your house to the hall. We shall leave this open, my friend, for you to place yourself where you belong in your heart. Applause erupts. It is a thunderous sound, welcoming you. You step down from the stool, your robes changing color to match your new family. You find your seat at the table. The golden plates before you fill instantly with roast chicken, steaming potatoes, peas, gravy, and treacle tart. You eat, and for the first time in hours, your heart rate slows. You look up at the high table. Professor Fig gives you a small, weary nod. You have made it. You are safe. But as you look around the hall, at the laughing faces and the floating ghosts, you know the truth. The dragon was real. The ancient magic is real. Ranrock is out there, in the dark. The arrival is over. The term has begun. And now, as the feast winds down and the prefects call for the first years to follow them, you feel a heavy, pleasant exhaustion settle into your bones. It is time to find your bed. It is time to sleep. The feast has ended. The last golden plate has vanished from the tables of the great hall, and the heavy oak doors have groaned shut for the night. You have found your way through the winding corridors. up the shifting marble staircases that groan and sigh like old men, and you have found your bed. Let us linger here for a moment. The first night at Hogwarts. The castle sleeps, but it is never truly silent. It breathes. If you listen closely, you can hear the deep, resonant thrum of magic in the stone walls, a vibration that has held this structure together for 1,000 years. Imagine, if you will, where you are sleeping. If the Sorting Hat placed you in Gryffindor, you are high in a tower. The room is round and warm, draped in heavy scarlet velvet. A fire crackles in the grate, never dying down, casting a flickering orange glow across the four-poster beds. The wind howls outside, battering the stone, but inside, you are safe, wrapped in the courage of the lion. If you are a Ravenclaw, you are higher still, in the eagle's nest. Your dormitory is airy and cool, with vast arched windows that look out over the grounds. The ceiling is domed and painted with stars that move in real time with the heavens. The sound of the wind here is a song, a high, whistling melody that stimulates the mind even as it lulls the body. If Slytherin is your home, you have descended into the dungeons, deep beneath the Black Lake. But it is not dark. It is serene. A greenish, aquatic light filters in through the windows, casting rippling shadows on the carved stone floors. You can hear the water pressing against the glass, a muffled, rhythmic lapping that mimics the heartbeat of the earth. It is a place of ambition, yes, but also of profound solitude. And if you are a Hufflepuff, you are nestled near the kitchens, in a burrow that smells of warm earth, honey, and thyme. The room is round and low-ceilinged, filled with hanging plants and copper lamps. Sunlight, or moonlight, filters through round windows at ground level, where you can see the grass swaying. It is the embrace of the badger, warm and unpretentious. Morning comes. It does not arrive with an alarm, but with the soft shifting of light. You wake, pulling back the heavy curtains of your bed. The events of yesterday, the dragon, the ruins, the sorting, feel like a vivid dream. But as you reach for your wand on the bedside table, you know it was real. You dress in your new uniform. The fabric is stiff and new, the tie crisp. You step out into the common room, now bustling with students preparing for the day. There is the smell of toast and pumpkin juice wafting up from the Great Hall. Your first day begins not with a class, but with a gift. Professor Matilda Weasley finds you. She is a formidable woman, the deputy headmistress, with spectacles perched on her nose and a wand that moves with efficient grace. She hands you a book, a thick, leather-bound tome with strange mechanical gears on the cover.
"The Wizard's Field Guide," she explains.
This is no ordinary book. As you take it, the gears whir to life. The pages flutter open, blank and waiting. This book is linked to your magic. It will record your journey, your discoveries, your growth. It is a map, a journal, and a teacher all in one. It will help you catch up, Weasley says with a knowing smile. You have much ground to cover for a 5th year. And so to class. Your first lesson is charms, taught by the delightful Professor Ronan. His classroom is near the astronomy tower, a high-ceilinged room filled with purple cushions and floating books. Ronan is a man of joy. He wears robes of vibrant purple and has a laugh that shakes his belly. He does not believe in dreary lectures. He believes in the joy of magic. "Breathers, everyone," he announces, clapping his hands. "Fresh air. Let us go outside." He leads the class to the lawns. The air is crisp, the grass wet with dew. "Today," he booms, "we learn Actio, the summoning charm." He demonstrates. With a flick of his wrist, a sharp, beckoning motion, he calls a floating sphere toward him. Actio! The sphere zooms through the air and smacks satisfyingly into his hand. Now, it is your turn. You stand, feet shoulder width apart. You focus on the target, a wooden ball hovering 100 feet away. You visualize the thread of magic connecting you to the object. You feel the intent in your chest. You raise your wand. You make the gesture, a fluid, pulling arc. Actio. There is a tug behind your navel, a rush of wind, and then the ball is flying toward you. It smacks into your palm, solid and real. The class cheers. You feel a flush of pride. It is simple magic, foundational magic, but it is yours. The day flows into the afternoon. You navigate the moving staircases which shift and grind, forcing you to wait or to jump. You pass talking portraits who critique your fashion or gossip about the headmaster. You find the defense against the dark arts tower. Here, the atmosphere is different. Professor Hecate is an old woman, bent with age, but her eyes are sharp as flint. She is a former unspeakable, a spy for the ministry. She has seen things that would turn your hair white. Levitation, she says, her voice raspy, is not just for lifting feathers, it is for survival. She teaches you Levioso. This is not the gentle floating charm of the first years. This is a combat spell, a way to lift an enemy off their feet, to break their guard, to leave them vulnerable. She pairs you up. You face Sebastian Sallow, a charismatic boy from Slytherin with tousled brown hair and a freckled face. He grins at you, spinning his wand in his fingers. Don't hold back, new student, he challenges. You duel. Levioso, you cry. A jet of yellow light erupts from your wand. Sebastian dodges, laughing. He fires a stinging hex back. You deflect it with Protego, a shield charm that creates a shimmering bubble of blue light around you. The spell bounces off with a sparks shower. You find your rhythm. Block, cast, block, cast. It is a dance. It is exhilarating. Finally, you catch him. Levioso! Sebastian is hoisted into the air, his feet dangling helplessly. Not bad, he admits, dropping back to the floor with a grin. Not bad at all. You should join the club. Club, you ask. Crossed wands, he whispers. Meet me by the clock tower tonight. As evening falls, the castle transforms. The corridors fill with shadows. The portraits snooze in their frames. You make your way to the clock tower courtyard. Tucked away in a corner, hidden behind a heavy tapestry, is the entrance to the dueling club. It is a secret society of students, presided over by a young Gryffindor named Lucan Brittleby. The room is dimly lit, smelling of ozone and excitement. Here, house rivalries are set aside for the purity of the duel. You fight alongside Sebastian and Natsayonai from Gryffindor. You learn to chain your spells, Levioso to lift, Actio to pull, Incendio to burn. You are becoming a warrior. But the most profound discovery of these first days is not a spell, nor a club. It is a room. Professor Weasley guides you to a blank stretch of wall on the 7th floor, opposite a tapestry of Barnabas the Barmy trying to teach trolls to dance. Walk past it 3 times, she instructs, and think of what you need. I need a place to catch up. I need a place to study. I need a place to be safe. You walk. Once, twice, 3 times. On the 3rd pass, the stone begins to ripple. A door appears, intricately carved from dark wood, with brass handles that gleam. You push it open. You step into the room of requirement. It is magnificent. It is a cavernous space, cluttered at first with mountains of old furniture, chairs, broken vanities, stacks of books reaching the ceiling. But as you step forward, the room responds to your presence. The piles of junk dissolve into golden dust. The floor expands, the ceiling lifts, transforming into a vaulted masterpiece of glass and iron. And there, standing in the center, is a small house elf. Deke, he introduces himself, bowing low so his nose touches the floor. Deke has been waiting for you. This room is yours. With a wave of your wand, you can change it. You learn the transfiguration spells, Evanesco to banish items, conjuration to create them. You sweep your wand and a rug appears, lush and Persian. Another sweep and a potting table materializes, ready for magical herbs. Another and a potion station forms, complete with bubbling beakers. You change the lighting from a cool morning blue to a warm, candlelit evening gold. This is your sanctuary. Here, the prying eyes of the headmaster cannot see you. Here, the threats of Ranrock feel a world away. Deke teaches you one more secret of the room. He leads you to a glass conservatory at the back. You step through the doors and gasp. It is a vivarium. It is not a room at all, but a pocket dimension. A sunny, grassy meadow stretches out before you, bordered by mountains that are not real, under a sky that is eternally blue. A stream trickles over white stones. Trees rustle in a breeze that smells of eternal spring. For your beasts, Deke says softly, when you find them. You stand in the grass of the vivarium, the sun warming your face. You feel a profound sense of peace. You have a home within a home, a secret within a secret. The castle has woken, and it has welcomed you. You have learned to summon, to levitate, to protect. You have made friends. You have found a sanctuary. But as you leave the room of requirement and head back to your dormitory, the shadows in the corridor seem a little longer. The map you found in the library, the book you recovered from the ruins, they are burning a hole in your pocket. You know that the classes are just the surface. The real lesson, the lesson of the ancient magic, is waiting for you beneath the school. You climb into your bed, the exhaustion of the day finally claiming you. You listen to the sound of the castle settling, the groans of the pipes, the whisper of the ghosts. You close your eyes, and in the darkness behind your lids, you see the blue traces of magic, swirling, waiting, the keeper's trials. While the sun may shine on the Quidditch pitch, empty though it is this year, and the laughter of students may fill the corridors, your true education is taking place in the dark. You are living a double life. By day, a student struggling with transfiguration essays. By night, an explorer of the deep past. We return to the map chamber. This secret room, buried deep beneath the castle, far below even the Slytherin dungeons, is the heart of your journey. It is a space of solemn beauty. The floor is a vast, intricate map of the Highlands, enchanted to glow with ley lines and magical hotspots. The walls are lined with gold, reflecting the light of the eternal torches, and overlooking it all are 4 massive, ornate frames. The keepers, Percival Rackham, Charles Rookwood, Niamh Fitzgerald, San Bakar, they are not mere paintings. They are imprints of consciousness, left behind to judge you, to guide you. They speak with the weight of centuries. You have seen the traces, Percival Rackham says, his voice calm and steady. But seeing is not enough. You must understand. The trials are not tests of strength, though you will need strength. They are tests of character. They are designed to ensure that you will not make the same mistakes Isadora made. They are designed to teach you the cost of power. The first trial, the tower. Your journey takes you north, to a lonely, windswept tower standing sentinel over the moors. It looks abandoned, a crumbling finger of stone pointing at the grey sky. But to you, it is alive. You enter. The inside does not match the outside. You are stepping into a pocket of space, suspended in a void of blue and violet nebula. Floating islands of stone form a path before you. Here, You learn the nature of the Keeper's magic. The archways. You stand before a stone arch. Through it, you see a different room, a room where a bridge exists that does not exist in your reality. You must step through. As you cross the threshold, the world shifts. The bridge becomes solid. The chasm vanishes. You are walking between layers of reality, manipulating the environment with the ancient magic. At the top of the tower, you face the Guardian. It is a massive construct of stone and magic, a towering knight with a sword that crackles with energy. It has no face, only a glowing core. It moves with terrifying speed for something so large. It swings its blade and you must dodge, rolling across the stone floor, feeling the wind of the strike against your cheek. You fight back. Expelliarmus, Confringo. Your spells chip away at the stone, but it is your ancient magic that finishes it. You call down a bolt of red lightning, smashing the construct into rubble. You have passed. You step into the memory. You see Percival Rackham and Charles Rookwood in the past. They are visiting a hamlet, suffering from a terrible drought. The crops are dead. The people are starving. Rackham uses the ancient magic, not to fight, but to heal. He summons rain. He brings life back to the soil. It is a beautiful, benevolent act. But you see the look in young Isadora's eyes. She is watching. She is learning. She sees not just the rain, but the power to change reality. The second trial, the castle. The second trial leads you to Rookwood Castle. It is occupied now by Victor Rookwood's lot, bandits and poachers. You must fight your way through the courtyard, your wand flashing in the night, stunning enemies, deflecting curses. Inside, the trial of Charles Rookwood awaits. Charles was a master of transfiguration, and his trial reflects his mind. It is a puzzle of logic and perspective. You find yourself in a room where a pillar blocks your path. But when you look through the archway, the pillar is a transparent ghost. You must manipulate the arch, rotating it, moving it, until the reality you need is the reality you are in. It is a headache-inducing dance of physics and magic. The memory you unlock is darker. You see Isadora again. She is no longer a student. She has become a professor. She has brought her father to Hogwarts. He is broken by grief, barely able to speak. The keepers watch in horror as Isadora uses her wand to pull a dark, inky substance from his chest. It is his pain. She extracts it, swirling it into a jar. Her father smiles. He looks peaceful. But his eyes are blank. He is calm, but he is empty. The keepers realize then what she has done. She hasn't healed him. She has lobotomized his soul. The third trial, the book. The third trial is unlike any other. It belongs to Neve Fitzgerald, the former headmistress. You find the entrance in the headmaster's office, sneaking past the gargoyle while Professor Black is distracted. You are sucked into a book. Literally, the world transforms. The 3D reality of the castle vanishes. You are now inside a storybook. The world is rendered in stark black and white ink, like a hand-drawn illustration. It is beautiful and terrifying. You are stripped of your wand. You have no spells. You are defenseless. This is a tale of death. You must navigate a village destroyed by plague and shadow. Huge, cloaked figures, avatars of death, stalk the streets. If they see you, it is over. You must use the invisibility cloak, a legendary artifact gifted to you in the simulation, to creep past them. You hide behind barrels. You hold your breath as the shadows pass inches from your face. The tension is palpable. This is not about fighting. It is about humility. It is about understanding that some forces cannot be defeated, only endured.
Later in the trial, you are given the Elder Wand. Suddenly, the power shifts. You blast through walls of stone. You defeat waves of death's minions with a single flick. It is intoxicating. It is seductive. And finally, you hold the Resurrection Stone. You see Neve lying on a bier. She wakes, not as a zombie, but as a memory. She shows you the escalation. Isadora is now harvesting pain from students. She is taking their anxieties, their fears, their sorrows, and storing them in giant repositories under the school. She believes she is saving them. "I can help them," she screams at the keepers. "Why do you hoard this power if not to help?" The keepers try to stop her, but she is too strong. She blasts them back with waves of raw, emotional energy. The fourth trial, the Beast. The final trial belongs to San Bakar, the Beast Master. To enter his trial, you must prove your dominance over nature. He demands that you bring him a Graphorn. The Graphorn is a creature of nightmare and majesty. It is massive, with tough, grey skin and tentacles around its mouth, and two sharp, deadly horns. It is known as the Lord of the Shore. You travel to the furthest coast, to a rocky beach littered with the bones of ancient leviathans. There, you face it. It charges you like a runaway train. The ground shakes. You must dodge its trampling hooves, deflect its strikes. You wear it down, spell after spell, until it collapses, exhausted. But you do not kill it. You kneel before it. You show it respect. You show it that you are not a conqueror, but a partner. The Graphorn rises. It bows its head. You climb onto its back. This is a moment of pure triumph. You ride the Graphorn back across the highlands, its massive strides eating up the miles. You smash through barricades. You trample poachers who dare to stand in your way. You ride the beast all the way to the entrance of the map chamber. San Bakar opens the way. The final memory is a tragedy. The keepers confront Isadora in the repository beneath Hogwarts. She is surrounded by the pain she has harvested, red, angry energy that swirls like a storm. She is consuming it. It is making her powerful, invincible. She attacks them. A battle rages. Neve is struck down. Charles is blasted aside. San Bakar sees that there is no other way. He cannot reason with her. He cannot disarm her. He raises his wand. His face is a mask of sorrow. Avada Kedavra. The green light of the killing curse strikes Isadora. She falls. The energy she was controlling explodes, shattered, but not destroyed. The keepers are left in the silence of the aftermath. They realize they cannot destroy the pain Isadora collected. It is energy. It cannot be unmade. So they decide to seal it away. They build the repositories. They build the trials to hide them. The synthesis. You stand in the map chamber, the four portraits looking down at you. You now know the truth. The ancient magic that Ranrock seeks is not just power. It is pain. It is the concentrated suffering of thousands of people, distilled into a weapon. Ranrock knows where the repositories are, you tell the keepers. He is drilling under the castle right now. The keepers look at each other. The time for testing is over. You must stop him, Rackham says. You must guard the final repository. If he absorbs that power, he will become something the world has never seen. He will not just be a goblin, he will be a god of suffering. You leave the map chamber. Your head is spinning. You understand now why Fig was so worried. You understand the stakes. But as you emerge back into the castle, another shadow looms, a more personal one. Sebastian Sallow. He has been on his own journey while you were facing the trials. He has been searching for a cure for his sister Anne, who was cursed by goblins. He believes the ancient magic, the very magic Isadora used, might save her. He is desperate, and a desperate wizard is a dangerous thing. The trials of the keepers are done, but the trials of the heart are just beginning. Shadows of the bloodline.
Welcome, friends, to the flickering candlelight. We leave the high, wind-swept towers of the keepers now. We descend, down from the clouds, down through the stone floors of the castle, past the dungeons, and into the dark, damp earth, where secrets are kept, not to protect the world, but to protect a bloodline. While you were fighting constructs and riding Graphorns, another story was unfolding in the shadows. A story not of ancient duty, but of desperate love. It is the story of Sebastian Sallow. If the Keeper's trials were about the danger of removing pain, Sebastian's journey is about the danger of refusing to accept it. You meet Sebastian in the Undercroft, a secret room he showed you early in the term. It is a dusty, forgotten storage cellar filled with broken clocks and draped furniture. It is his sanctuary and yours. But lately, the air in the Undercroft has grown heavy.
Sebastian is not alone. He is often arguing with ominous Gaunt.
Ominous is a fascinating figure. He is blind, navigating the world with his wand, which sends out a red pulse of magic to see the environment. He is a direct descendant of Salazar Slytherin, one of the founders of Hogwarts. He speaks Parseltongue, the language of snakes, but Ominous despises his heritage. He grew up in a house where dark magic was used as casually as a cleaning charm. He knows the cost of the dark arts. He bears the scars of his family's cruelty. You cannot go down this path, Sebastian, Ominous pleads, his pale, sightless eyes filled with fear. The dark arts are not a toy. I am doing this for Anne, Sebastian shouts back. The doctors at St. Mungo's have given up. My uncle Solomon has given up. I will not give up. Anne is his twin sister. She lives in the hamlet of Feldcroft. Months ago, she was struck by a curse from a goblin loyalist, a curse that leaves her in constant, agonizing pain. There is no known cure. Sebastian believes that somewhere, deep in the forbidden knowledge of Salazar Slytherin, there is an answer. He asks for your help. He wants to find the Scriptorium, Slytherin's secret study hidden within Hogwarts. You agree, not just for the adventure, but because you see the desperation in his eyes. You find the entrance in the lower dungeons. It is hidden behind a mechanism involving braziers and snakes. Ominous, reluctant but loyal to his friend, agrees to help open it. He speaks to the stone serpent in a hissing, guttural whisper. Open. The wall grinds open. You step into a corridor that feels like the throat of a beast. It is narrow, suffocating, and lit by low green flames. The Scriptorium is a maze. To progress, you must solve puzzles involving snake dials. But the final door demands a sacrifice. Written on the floor are words of cruelty. To pass, someone must cast the Cruciatus Curse. Crucio, the torture curse, one of the 3 unforgivable curses. It requires a genuine desire to cause pain. The air in the chamber is stagnant. Panic rises in your throat. You are trapped. The door will not open without it. Sebastian looks at you.
I'll do it,
He says, his voice shaking.
or you can do it to me, but we have to get through.
It is a terrible choice. In the silence of that dungeon, morality bends. To save yourselves, to find the cure, a line must be crossed. In our story tonight, let us say you choose to bear the pain, to let Sebastian cast it, so that you may understand the weight of what he is becoming. He raises his wand. I am sorry, he whispers. Crucio. The pain is white hot, blinding, 1,000 knives in every nerve. It lasts only a moment, but it feels like an eternity. When it lifts, you are gasping on the floor. The door opens. Inside you find not a cure, but a book. Slytherin's spell book. Sebastian clutches it to his chest like a lifeline. He has found spells that can force enemies to obey, spells that can kill. He believes these are tools. Ominis believes they are a poison. Months pass. The seasons change outside. The leaves of the forbidden forest turn gold, then brown, then vanish under a blanket of snow. Sebastian becomes more reckless. He learns that there is a relic, an ancient artifact, hidden in a catacomb near Feldcroft. He believes this relic can control dark magic, perhaps even reverse Anne's curse. You travel to the catacomb. It is a grim place, a network of tunnels lined with thousands of bones. Skulls are stacked like bricks in the walls. The air is thick with the dust of the dead, but the dead do not sleep here. Inferi, reanimated corpses, gaunt, skeletal figures with glowing blue eyes, they claw their way out of the earth. They are immune to most spells. Only fire and light can stop them. You fight back to back with Sebastian. Confringo, Incendio. The tunnels light up with orange blasts. The smell of burning bone is acrid. Deep in the heart of the catacomb, Sebastian finds the relic. It is a twisted piece of bone and shadow. Don't touch it, Ominis warns, having followed you. The dark sacrifice required. It will consume you. I can control it, Sebastian insists. And then disaster strikes. Solomon Sallow, Sebastian's uncle and guardian, storms into the catacomb. He has followed you too. He sees the relic in Sebastian's hand. He sees the Inferi rising. He assumes the worst.
Enough! Solomon roars. He snatches the relic from the pedestal and crushes it.
The sound of the relic breaking is like a scream. Sebastian snaps.
You destroyed her only chance,
he screams. A duel erupts. Not against monsters, but family against family. Uncle against nephew. You are caught in the middle, trying to disarm, trying to stop the madness. Solomon is powerful, an ex-aura, casting cyclones of fire and lightning. But Sebastian is fueled by a rage that burns hotter than fire. The shadows in the room seem to gather around him. He is no longer the student you met in defense against the dark arts. He is a force of vengeance. He knocks his uncle back. Solomon stumbles, his wand raised to defend himself. Sebastian doesn't hesitate. The words spill from his lips before he can think, driven by a year of grief, rejection, and obsession. Avada Kedavra. The green light is blinding. It is silent. There is no explosion, no impact. Just the sudden, absolute cessation of life. Solomon falls. He hits the ground with a heavy, final thud. The catacomb goes dead silent. The Inferi crumble to dust. Anne apparates in at that exact moment. She sees her uncle on the ground. She sees her brother's wand still glowing green. Seb, she whispers. The horror on her face breaks him. Sebastian drops his wand. Anne, he was trying to stop me. I was saving you.
You killed him,
she shrieks. Her voice echoes off the walls of skulls.
Murderer!
She blasts Sebastian away with a wave of pure, accidental magic born of grief. She destroys the spellbook. She disapparates, taking her uncle's body with her. You stand alone with Sebastian in the dark. He falls to his knees. The adrenaline is gone. The rage is gone. There is only the cold, crushing weight of what he has done. He has crossed the final line. He has used the killing curse. He has saved no one. He has lost everyone. What have I done? He weeps. We leave the catacomb in silence. The walk back to the castle is the longest of your life. The snow is falling gently on the highlands, covering the world in a pristine white blanket. It looks so peaceful. But you know that beneath the surface there are stains that can never be washed away. This is the shadow of the bloodline. The lesson is learned, but the tuition was a soul. You return to the dormitories. The fire in the common room is dying down to embers. You sit in a high-backed chair, staring into the coals. You realize that Ranrock is not the only monster. The capacity for darkness lies in everyone, even your best friend.
The night is deep now. The wind rattles the window panes, sounding like a sister crying for her lost brother.
Rest now, for the final battle approaches. The Keeper's secret is in danger, the repository is at risk, and you must decide what kind of wizard or witch you will be. Beasts and blossoms. Hello again, my dear wanderers. Breathe. Let us step away from the shadows of the catacomb. Let us leave behind the cold stone of the scriptorium and the green flash of the killing curse. The world of magic is vast, and for every shadow that stretches long in the dark, there is a ray of light that breaks through the canopy. Tonight, we turn our faces to the sun. We turn our feet toward the soft earth of the forest floor. We are going to speak of creatures great and small, of feathers and fur, and of the quiet, beating heart of the wild. We are going to meet Poppy Sweeting. If Sebastian Sallow is the fire that burns too hot, Poppy is the gentle rain that nourishes the roots. She is a Hufflepuff, though she spends very little time in the common room. You are more likely to find her in the hills behind the castle, her robes muddy, her pockets full of treats for the Puffskeins. You first truly notice her in Beasts class, taught by the spirited Professor Hoenn. The class is held outdoors, in a paddock overlooking the valleys. The air smells of hay and fresh apples. While other students are wary of the Puffskeins, furry custard-colored balls that hum when they are happy, Poppy is whispering to them. She speaks their language not with words, but with a stillness in her spirit. People are complicated, she tells you later, as you walk toward the forbidden forest edge. Beasts are honest. If they like you, they nuzzle you. If they don't, they bite. I prefer that honesty. Poppy has a secret too. Her parents were poachers. She grew up in a camp surrounded by cages and cruelty. She saw the worst of what wizards do to magical creatures for profit, selling dragon scales, grathorn horns, and mooncalf pelts. She ran away to her grandmother, but the guilt of her bloodline drives her. She is determined to undo the damage her family's kind has wrought. She trusts you because you showed kindness to a Highwing. Highwing is a hippogriff. Imagine a creature that is the perfect fusion of eagle and horse. She has the head, wings, and front talons of a giant eagle, with feathers the color of a storm cloud, transitioning into the sleek, roan coat of a horse at the rear. Her eyes are bright orange, fierce and proud. You and Poppy discover that the poachers, led by the ruthless Victor Rookwood's associates, have captured Highwing. They are holding her in a fortress known as Horntail Hall, a grim ruin where they stage dragon fights for illegal gambling. We have to get her out, Poppy says. Her voice usually shakes when she speaks to teachers, but it is steady as stone now. The mission is a stealth operation. We wait for nightfall. The moon hangs heavy and full over the Scottish Highlands, painting the landscape in shades of silver and indigo. You and Poppy creep through the underbrush near the poacher camp. You can smell the smoke of their fires and hear their coarse laughter. Alohomora, you whisper, unlocking the gate. You move like ghosts. You sneak past the tents, using the disillusionment charm to blend into the background like chameleons. You see horrors here, nifflers trapped in tiny cages, their little snouts poking out, a diricol pacing anxiously. You vow to come back for them all, but tonight, the target is Highwing. You reach the roof of the keep. There she is, chained but unbroken. She snaps her beak at a poacher who gets too close. As you approach, she recognizes Poppy. She bows low, a sign of respect that a hippogriff demands before interaction. You bow back. She allows you to come close. Good girl, Poppy murmurs, working the lock on her chains. But the poachers spot you. Intruders, a voice bellows. Spells begin to fly. Red jets of stunners zip past your ears. There is no time to climb down. We have to fly, Poppy shouts.
She leaps onto Highwing's back. You spot another hippogriff nearby, a male, onyx, and you scramble onto him. With a powerful thrust of their wings, the beasts launch into the air. The sensation of flight on a hippogriff is unlike a broom. A broom is a tool. A hippogriff is a partner. You can feel the muscles bunching and releasing beneath your legs. You can feel the wind catching the feathers of the wings. You soar away from Horntail Hall, rising higher and higher until the castle is just a speck below. The wind rushes through your hair, cold and exhilarating. You fly over the black lake, your reflection skimming the water. You fly past the astronomy tower. For a moment, there is no war. There is no Ranrock. There is only the freedom of the sky and the trust of a magnificent beast. You land in a secluded glade near Hogsmeade. Poppy slides off, burying her face in Highwing's neck. "Thank you," she whispers to you. "You didn't have to help." "I wanted to," you reply. This begins a new chapter of your life at Hogwarts, the Vivarium. Back in the Room of Requirement, Deke shows you how to expand your sanctuary. You rescue more beasts from the poacher camps scattered around the map. You bring in a mooncalf. These adorable creatures have giant, pale blue eyes and long necks. They only come out at night to dance in the moonlight. In your vivarium, you create a twilight setting for them, watching them frolic in the purple grass. You rescue a Kneasel. It looks like a large cat with oversized ears and a lion-like tail. They are highly intelligent and suspicious, but once they trust you, they are loyal for life. You find a phoenix. This is the pinnacle of your work with Deke. The phoenix is rare, a creature of fire and rebirth. Ranrock's poachers are hunting the last one in the region. You climb the highest peak, fighting through waves of spiders and poachers to reach the nest. The phoenix does not need to be captured. It chooses you. It flies to your vivarium, nesting in the highest rocky crag you have conjured. Its song fills the room, a haunting, beautiful melody that strengthens your resolve. But Poppy's quest is not done. She has heard of a species thought to be extinct, the golden snidget. These tiny, spherical birds were once used in Quidditch before the golden snitch was invented. They were hunted to near extinction because their feathers and eyes were so prized. Poppy discovers that a colony might still exist, protected by centaurs. You venture deep into the Forbidden Forest to meet the centaurs. They are proud, starry-eyed observers of fate. They do not trust humans. "Wizard kind takes," says Doran, a centaur elder. "They do not preserve. We are different, you promise. You must prove it." You solve the puzzles of the Moonstone Garden, an ancient ruin filled with overgrown vines and magical light. Inside, you find the sanctuary. It is a hidden valley, untouched for centuries, and there, fluttering like little golden jewels, are the Snidgets. They are safe. The poachers arrive, of course. They have tracked you. A massive battle ensues in the sanctuary. You, Poppy, and the centaurs fight side by side. It is a chaotic melee of hooves, arrows, and spells. But you hold the line. You drive the poachers back. When the dust settles, you watch the Snidgets hatching from their eggs. Tiny, fragile things. Poppy is crying, but they are happy tears. "We did it," she says. "We saved them." This segment of your journey is a reminder of what you are fighting for. You are not just fighting to stop a goblin rebellion or to protect a repository of pain. You are fighting for the life that thrives in this world. You are fighting for the mooncalves dancing in the moonlight, for the hippogriffs soaring over the locks, for the Snidgets hiding in the valley. As you return to the castle, your robes smelling of the forest, you feel grounded. The darkness of the Scriptorium feels far away. You have touched the earth, and the earth has welcomed you. But the sky is darkening again. The final confrontation awaits. Ranrock has finished his drilling. He has found the repository. Say goodnight to your beasts in the vivarium. Feed the Neasels. Brush the Graphorn. Tomorrow we go to war. The final repository. The time for wandering is over. The time for learning is done. The carriage ride that brought you here, through the clouds and the mist, feels like a lifetime ago. You were a stranger then, holding a port key with trembling fingers. Now, you are a wielder of ancient magic, a tamer of Graphorns, a duelist of the dark arts, and the keeper of secrets that could shatter the world. Tonight, the castle does not sleep. It shudders. You are standing in the map chamber with Professor Fig. The floor beneath your feet vibrates, a low, grinding rumble that you feel in your teeth. It is the sound of the earth screaming. Ranrock has found the location. His drill, a monstrosity of iron and goblin hatred, is piercing the very foundations of Hogwarts. The keepers look down from their frames. Their faces are grave. The time has come, Percival Rackham says. You must hurry. If he absorbs the power of the repository, there will be no magic strong enough to stop him. You look at Professor Fig. He looks tired, older than he did when you first met, but his eyes are bright with determination. I am with you, he says softly, until the end. You step through the final archway, the descent. You are deep underground now, deeper than the Slytherin dungeons, deeper than the roots of the Forbidden Forest. You are in the caverns that predate the castle itself. The air here is hot and smells of sulfur and ozone. The walls are not just stone, they are veins of crystal, pulsing with the red, angry light of the corrupted magic Isadora left behind. It is unstable. Arcs of red lightning crackle across the path, leaving scorch marks on the rock. You run. Your footsteps echo in the vast emptiness. Ranrock's loyalists are here. They swarm like ants protecting their queen. You raise your wand. There is no hesitation now. You are a tempest.
Confringo, Defindo, Depulso.
You blast goblins off the ledges. You deflect their crossbow bolts with perfect timing. You are moving with the flow of the battle, a dance of violence and grace. But there are too many of them. Trolls, massive armored beasts, block the path. They roar, swinging clubs the size of tree trunks. And then, a miracle. Behind you, a wall explodes inward. Dust and debris fill the air. Through the smoke, figures emerge. It is the professors. Professor Sharp limps forward, his wand slashing through the air, sending a wave of fire that consumes a troll. Professor Hecate, frail as she looks, levitates 3 goblins at once and slams them into the ceiling. Professor Ronan is laughing, actually laughing, as he summons debris to block a flank attack. Even Professor Black is there, looking terrified but casting curses nonetheless. They have come for you. They have come for the school. Go! Professor Weasley shouts, transfiguring a falling boulder into a flock of harmless butterflies. We will hold them off! Get to Ranrock! You sprint forward, leaving your teachers behind to fight the battle of their lives. You and Fig cross the final bridge.
The repository.
You enter the heart of the mystery. The repository is a cavern so large it could fit the entire Quidditch pitch inside. In the center, suspended in the air, is a massive sphere of swirling black and red energy. It is the pain, it is the grief, it is the power. And standing beneath it is Ranrock. He looks up as you enter. He does not look like a revolutionary anymore. He looks like a fanatic. His eyes are burning with the same red light as the repository. You are too late, he sneers. His voice is distorted, echoing as if many voices are speaking at once. Wizardkind has hoarded this power for too long. They have looked down on us. They have denied us our heritage. No more. He raises his gauntlet. He doesn't just tap into the repository, he breaks it open. The energy floods out. It is a tidal wave of darkness. It hits Ranrock, lifting him into the air. He screams, not in pain, but in ecstasy. His body begins to twist. His armor fuses with his flesh. He grows. He expands. Wings of liquid metal and red magic burst from his back. His face elongates into a snout filled with razor-sharp teeth. He has become a dragon. This is not a creature of nature like the Hebridean black or the Hungarian horntail. This is an abomination, a dragon of pure corrupted magic. He roars, and the cavern shakes. Stalactites fall from the ceiling. The final battle. The battle begins. Ranrock flies into the air, raining down fire that isn't orange, but a deep, bruised purple. You dodge, rolling across the stone floor. The heat is intense. You cannot hurt him with normal spells. His skin is impervious to Confringo or Bombarda. He is invulnerable. But you have the ancient magic. You see the traces. Glowing orbs of colored magic appear around him. Purple, yellow, red. You must match your spells to the magic. A purple orb appears. You cast Accio and shatter it. A yellow orb appears. You cast Levioso, a red orb. Incendio. When the shield breaks, he roars in vulnerability. This is your chance. You tap into the deep well of power inside you. You channel the blue light of the keepers. You hurl bolts of ancient magic at him. You grab massive boulders with your mind and smash them into his face. You catch the fire he breathes and throw it back down his throat. It is a battle of gods. The sheer scale of it is breathtaking. You are a tiny figure against a mountain of metal and malice, but you are winning. You are faster. You are smarter. You are fighting for something real. Fig is there too. He is darting around the edges, distracting the beast, casting shields to protect you. Focus on the core, he shouts. Ranrock lands, crashing onto the platform. He snaps at you. You roll under his jaws. You blast him point blank. He stumbles. The red light flickers. The choice. Finally, with a scream of rage, the dragon form collapses. The metal armor shatters. Ranrock shrinks back down, falling to the ground, broken and defeated. He dissolves into ash, consumed by the very power he tried to master. But the repository is leaking. The containment is broken. The black energy is pouring out, uncontrolled. It is going to consume the cavern. It is going to consume the castle above. You stand before the swirling vortex. The keeper's voices echo in your mind. You have a choice. You can try to contain it, to seal it back away, to be the guardian that the keepers wanted you to be. Or you can open it. You can take the power for yourself. You can believe, like Isadora, that you can use it for good. For our story, we choose the path of the guardian, the path of wisdom. You raise your wand. You reach out with the ancient magic. But it is too heavy. It is too much for one person. Professor Fig steps up beside you. Eleazar, no, you cry. It will kill you. It is the only way, he says. He looks at you, and for a moment, the chaos fades. He smiles. It is a smile of pride. Miriam would have loved to see you now. He grabs your hand. Together, you pull. You pull the threads of the magic. You weave them back together. You are stitching a wound in the universe. It requires every ounce of strength you have. Your vision blurs. Your heart hammers against your ribs. There is a blinding flash of white light. The red energy is purged. The blue light of the ancient magic surges, sealing the breach. The rock knits itself back together. And then, silence. The light fades. You are kneeling on the cold stone floor. The repository is sealed. The danger is gone. But beside you, the space is empty. Professor Fig is gone. He gave everything to help you hold the line. He used the last of his life force to bind the magic. You sit there for a long time in the silence of the deep earth. You hold his wand, which he dropped in the final moment. It is still warm. Slowly, the sounds of the world filter back in. The distant rumble of the professors, clearing the last of the loyalists. The dripping of water. You stand up. Your legs are heavy. You are exhausted in a way that sleep cannot fix. But you are alive, and Hogwarts is safe. You begin the long walk back to the surface. You walk past the broken drill. You walk past the unconscious trolls. You ascend the stairs. When you emerge into the cool night air of the Scottish Highlands, the moon is still shining. The castle stands tall and proud, its towers reaching for the stars. The lights in the common rooms are still burning. The students are sleeping, unaware of how close they came to the end. Unaware that beneath their beds, a war was fought and won. Unaware that a good man gave his life so they could wake up tomorrow and worry about their potions essays. You look at the wand in your hand. You look at the castle. You are not the same student who arrived in that carriage. You have been forged in dragonfire. You are a keeper now.
The final battle is over, but the memory of it will live forever in the stone.
Come, my friend. The adrenaline is fading. The sorrow is settling, heavy and soft like a blanket. It is time to rest. And so, the dust settles. The frantic energy of the battle beneath the earth has dissipated, replaced by a profound, ringing silence. The adrenaline that coursed through your veins, hot and sharp, has begun to ebb away, leaving behind a heaviness that feels almost sweet. It is the heaviness of a task completed, the heaviness of a burden laid down. We move forward in time now, not by centuries, but by days. The sharp edge of the crisis has softened. The cracks in the ground have been mended. The secret of the repository remains a secret, buried once again in the dark, guarded now not by 4 portraits, but by you. It is the end of the term. You find yourself back in the Great Hall. The room is awash in the warm, amber glow of thousands of floating candles. They drift lazily in the air, their wax never dripping, their light steady and sure. The ceiling above reflects a clear, star-studded sky, the constellations wheeling slowly in their eternal dance. The tables are full. The chatter of students is a low, comforting hum, the sound of life continuing. They talk of Quidditch matches for next year, of summer plans, of chocolate frog cards and exam results. They do not know what happened beneath their feet. They do not know how close the darkness came. And that is a gift. Innocence is a gift that you have preserved for them. At the high table, there is a space that feels empty. Professor Fig's chair. Headmaster Black stands to speak. For once, his voice is not filled with disdain or boredom. He raises a goblet. He speaks of Eleazar Fig. He speaks of bravery. He speaks of the Hogwarts Legacy. Not as a thing of stone and magic, but as the actions we take when no one is watching. You raise your goblet. The pumpkin juice is cool and sweet. You look across the hall. You see Sebastian. He looks tired, older, but he offers you a small, tentative nod. The shadow has touched him, but he is still here. He is still fighting for a way to find the light. You see Poppy, laughing as she feeds a scrap of roast beef to a hidden creature in her pocket. You see Natsai, her posture strong and regal, her eyes meeting yours with a shared understanding of what it means to be a hero. You realize that this is the true magic of Hogwarts. It is not the spells in the books. It is not the hidden chambers or the ancient trials. It is this connection. It is the way these stone walls gather people from all walks of life, the brave, the ambitious, the loyal, the wise, and binds them together. The feast winds down. The golden plates are cleared away. The house cup is awarded, perhaps to your house, a final triumph to cap an extraordinary year. Banners unfurl from the ceiling, silk rippling in the air, celebrating the victory. But you are ready for rest. You leave the great hall, walking slowly through the entrance hall. The marble is cool beneath your boots. You climb the grand staircase. The portraits whisper, "Good night," as you pass. The suits of armor stand silent vigil, their metal gleaming in the moonlight. You reach your common room. The fire is just glowing embers now, a deep, pulsing red that warms the room. Most of the other students have already gone up to their dormitories. The room is quiet. The only sound is the scratching of a quill on parchment somewhere in a corner and the soft ticking of the grandfather clock. You climb the spiral stairs to your room. Your trunk is packed at the foot of your bed. Your wand sits on the nightstand. Quiet now, its work done. The Wizard's Field Guide, that thick book of challenges and secrets, is closed. You take off your robes. You climb into the four-poster bed. The sheets are cool and crisp, smelling of lavender and fresh laundry. The mattress is soft, sinking under your weight, holding you, supporting you. You pull the heavy duvet up to your chin. Lie there for a moment. Feel the safety of the castle wrapping around you like a shield. Nothing can hurt you here. The protective enchantments are strong. The professors are watching. The ghosts are patrolling. The stone itself is listening. Think back on the journey we have taken tonight. We rode the carriage through the clouds. We walked the path of the ancient magic. We solved the trials of the keepers. We flew on the back of a hippogriff over the glittering lakes. We faced the dragon in the deep, and we returned. Let those images drift through your mind like leaves falling in the autumn wind. They are memories now. They are stories. And stories are the softest pillow of all. Your breathing slows, in and out, in and out. The rhythm of the castle, the rhythm of the tides, the rhythm of sleep. Your limbs are heavy. Your eyelids are too heavy to lift. The darkness of the room is not scary. It is velvet. It is a blanket. You have left your mark on this world. You have added your verse to the song of Hogwarts. And now, the song fades into a lullaby. The snow begins to fall outside the window, soft white flakes dancing against the glass, covering the highlands in silence. Drift away now, my dear wanderer. The adventure is over. The dream is waiting. Let the stories guide you. Stay safe and sweet dreams.